morning and welcome to my Tireside chat. Can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight? How's it going, everyone? It's Monday, April 15th, 2024. Tax day, people. Pay your damn taxes, because corporations sure aren't going to. Somebody's got to keep this country afloat. It's not going to be them. No. It's going to be done on the backs of poor and middle class. What there is of the middle class. Anyway, just got back from. Oh, let me go this way. We just got back from visiting my dad and stepmom in San Diego yesterday. We did not drive. We flew, which was going down. We actually had we were delayed about an hour and a half. Which what is this we're listening to? Irene Cara? I don't know who that is. Make it out this way. Yeah, the plane was 45 minutes late coming to Fresno, and then once we got on board, they had to do some maintenance on the plane, and that took an extra 45 minutes or so. And, yeah, it was almost 2 hours we were delayed. Yeah, so I figured from the time we got to the airport on Thursday to the time we actually got to like the rental car center, it was about 6 hours in San Diego. So we could have driven down there in that amount of time. But I'm so glad we did it. I don't know if I ever want to drive to San Diego again. It's probably going to happen eventually. You know, man, we were down there and Danielle commented multiple times that her allergies were suddenly gone and she was feeling better and how pretty it was. And man, I could see ourselves moving there. I never thought I would say that, but I don't know, why not? We've been talking about moving to the Central Coast eventually, but you know, every time we go to Pismo lately, even, I don't know, there's something in the air there, but our allergies cause us to suffer a little bit. It's the same thing for both of us, where we just want to like sleep all the time. You can take allergy meds for it, but they only help so much. And if, you know, I think if it's just a matter of time before we leave Fresno, and I don't know. It's going to be a while. This isn't going to happen like next year or anything, probably. But I don't know. Depending on who knows where things will be in a year. It depends a lot on how crypto does this year. If it does as good as I'm hoping, or anywhere in that ballpark, then I'm hoping to, I mean, I don't know, it would be nice if the timing were right to where I could buy a property in some other city and pay off the house here. That's my dream. To like be able to outright buy something somewhere else and then pay off my house here. But anyways, so that's that. And yeah, we had a good time in San Diego. It was nice to visit the parents, and went to the USS Midway and did the tour of that. And everything on Saturday. So we got up because Friday morning we were gonna go do that, go tour the Midway. But Dean, he had a kind of a sore throat Thursday night, and then woke up Friday morning and it was just like killing him. It was so bad. And so we went. I had to take him to urgent care. We found an urgent care near the hotel that was like a mile away in El Cajon, and which was a really nice place. I want to say, I think it was owned and operated by an Iraqi family. It's what it looked like. Which, fun fact, during and after the Iraq War, I don't know if this is still the case, but San Diego, I probably read this 10 years ago. San Diego had the largest Iraqi population that had emigrated from Iraq to the United States. They all went to San Diego. For some reason, I can't imagine why. Like, that was smart. Every other country that people immigrate from, they go to like the Swedes. We went to like North Dakota and you know, in the cold, barren landscape. Other people, it was like, if you had anywhere you could choose to go in the country as a population, why wouldn't you? It seems like San Diego would be an obvious choice. So, anyways, we went to urgent care, and that was like, you know, it was like a 2-hour endeavor thereabouts, and they tested him for strep throat and COVID and the flu. Turns out he was positive for strep throat. Poor Dean. The nurse swabbed his throat, and he was like, there's blood on the cotton swab. It was that bad. I mean, it was not like bleeding, but it was pink. It's where, you know, his throat was so raw that there was blood cells there. So yeah, so they were. It was pretty neat. It was like an apartment complex that they had converted to. There was an urgent care, the doctor's office upstairs, and then downstairs was the pharmacy. I think you might have it the other way around, just because people like to rob pharmacies. So if it were upstairs, it'd be harder to get to, you know? Wonder why they did it that way. Anyways, probably more traffic to the pharmacy. Maybe that's why. Just convenient, yeah. Anyway, so that kind of shot our Friday. So, you know, after doing that, we did go, because we were at the hotel, and then we were like tired, and it's like 1 o'clock or something, and I was like, I feel like we should go do something. We did get In-N-Out for lunch. Our hotel was right next door, across the parking lot from an In-N-Out. So that was cool. We did get In-N-Out. But then I thought, well, why don't we we got the rental car. Like, it'd be a shame if we were here all this time and we didn't go to the beach at least once, even though it was overcast and cold is the right word, but it was pretty cool. I think it was low 60s, depending on where you were. So we got we had rented a minivan, so that if we did drive anywhere with my parents, we could all just pile into the same car and not have to take multiple cars. So it was a Chrysler. Damn it, what's the name of the car? And look, squirrel. I had this song in my head the other day. Yeah, like 2 days ago. I woke up and I had this song stuck in my head. Ooh, baby, it's driving me crazy. It's making me crazy. I haven't heard this song in forever, and it was in my head the other day. I had a music premonition. Anyways, why can't I think of the name of the damn minivan? The Chrysler. Somebody leave a comment. Anyways, we piled into the Chrysler and drove down to Mission Beach. And yeah, it was overcast and kind of cold. But it was nice. We parked and walked out on the beach, and then we went to Belmont Park, which is it's kind of like a boardwalk. They have a bunch of cool stuff there. I hadn't been there in 7-8 years or whatever. I think the last time we were down there when we took the kids, they had like a big like a glass building with an indoor swimming pool area that you can get access to, and they had a bunch of rafts that you could bounce around on in the pool for the kids. And so, of course, there's the roller coaster. They had laser tag, an arcade. There was like an outdoor music venue, which of course wasn't anything happening in the middle of the day on a Friday, but what else was there? All the usual like fair stuff, the ring toss games and those scams, and that was nice. So we at least did that on Friday for a couple hours, and we drove back. Traffic wasn't too terrible. It took about to get to where our hotel was, like back near El Cajon. It was like 30 minutes to drive to the beach, and then 32 minutes to drive back or something. And then Saturday, so that's when we got up and we went to USS Midway. Dean was feeling better after he'd been taking the antibiotics for 24 hours. And his throat was still a little sore, but it was a lot better than it was the day before. And the Midway was super cool to go see a real World War II aircraft carrier, and you get to tour. There's like you walk in on the hangar deck where they would normally keep old planes and stuff, and that they converted it into a museum. There's like a theater where they showed video of the Battle of Midway, and there was they had gift shops, and we had lunch there. They had a little like a cafeteria. It reminded me of like getting food at a hospital that has a good cafeteria. You could get trays, and they had a couple different types of cuisine. And the food was actually really good. It was pricey, but what is it? And it was a tourist trap. But the food was really good. And then you get the tour downstairs in they had like the galley and the crew's quarters and engineering. You get to see like part of the engine and everything else. And then you go, it was a lot of walking around. And then you get to go up to the flight deck. And they had, there's like 20 different planes and jets and helicopters. You could sit in some of them or walk through them. Dean was like super excited. We had a great time. He said at one point, like, he's like, I want to learn to fly. I want to take flying lessons. It's like, okay, one step at a time, bud. But that sounds awesome. So we had a good time doing that. But yeah, it was a lot of walking. My stepmom was, she was pretty tired after that. We were all pretty tired after that. So it had just been a long couple of days anyways and traveling. I took everyone back to the hotel, and then took my parents back to their house, which was about another 15 minutes north of where the hotel was. And and then went back to the hotel, took a quick nap, rested for a little bit, and then went and met my parents again at one of the trolley stations. Man, we had some trouble. So that was the plan, was we'll just drive our cars to one of the trolley stations, and it was going to be one of the ones in or near El Cajon. And the one my dad had picked for us to go to, he looked it up on the website and like, oh yeah, that would be a good one. He was kind of trying to decide between one or the other, and thank you. Actually, someone was paying attention and squeezed over so I could get by. You trying to fit that Chevy Blazer through there? Okay. Anyways, yeah, so we got some rest. And my dad had looked up on the website, and the trolley station he had decided on had a lot more parking than the first one he was looking at. And so we decided to meet at that one, only to find out that it was closed due to construction by the time we got there. So we all piled into the van and had to drive to the next closest one, which was Grossmont Center, and parked there, and then took the trolley, and it was like a 40-minute trolley ride down to Petco Park, and went to the concert, saw Sting and Billy Joel, and I was texting Ben, who's probably watching this. We're both lifelong Sting fans, and he was like, He's like, is he playing anything from Dream of the Blue Turtles or like Soul Cages? Oh no, or did you say not Soul Cages? Yeah, he's Soul Cages. Yeah, he played for an hour and a half, and it was mainly just his hits, you know. Go, dude. Go ahead now. Yeah, it was really cool. He had some good backing musicians. It wasn't Dominic Miller who was with him. He had a totally, I think, pretty much totally new band. All these younger people. But yeah, Sting was great. He just did. He did one thing which was interesting. He played "So Lonely," one of the old Police songs that I play all the time. And whenever we play that during band practice, if you listen to it, it's basically the chord progression for Bob Marley's "No Woman, No Cry." And so, like, if we play that at practice, we've done that where we'll be playing that, and in the middle of it go into "No Woman, No Cry." And I called it. I was like, I could tell by the way he was playing it. I was like, watch, I told Danielle he's gonna go into "No Woman, No Cry." Sure enough, he did. But what I liked about it is he didn't actually sing "No Woman, No Cry." He just did like one of the verses into the bridge and then back into "So Lonely." So I was like, oh, okay, that's good. It was a tasteful way to kind of cover it and threw that in there to where people would recognize it, but it wasn't, you know, super obvious. I mean, it was obvious to me, but anyway. Yeah, and we saw Billy Joel. That was great. It rained in the middle of the concert. Both Sting and Billy Joel were kind of disappointed because we came to San Diego, sunny California. We expected sunshine and beautiful weather, and it was raining. I think thankfully the stage was somewhat covered, so they didn't really get wet. But all the people who paid for the really expensive seats out on the floor were getting soaked. Where our seats were, we were up on the third base side, and we were under cover, so it was fine. But yeah, and then we had to. There's a lot more I could say about that, but we ducked out of there early, because Billy Joel didn't start until, was it 9 o'clock or was it 10 o'clock? No, it was 9 o'clock. There was actually like a 30-minute intermission between the sets, which I was surprised because I thought when we saw Sting play with Peter Gabriel, they had intermingled their bands really, and so like they were like Sting was playing on Peter Gabriel songs, and Peter Gabriel was coming out and singing on Sting songs, and they did kind of a mashup on a lot of their stuff, and then there was no real intermission. It just kind of bled from one performance into the next one, whereas this one, which I was kind of thinking maybe they'd be doing something like that here, but they instead there was actually a break after Sting was done for like 20 minutes while they took all of his gear off the stage and brought out all of Billy Joel's stuff. Anyways, it was really great. After like an hour or so of Billy Joel, we had to get going because my stepmom it was hard for them to stay that long, that late, and then we still had to get back to the trolley station and ride the trolley back. And so, yeah, long story short, we didn't get back to the hotel till about midnight, and it was cold and we were exhausted. And then we had to get up in the morning and be at the airport at like 8 o'clock to fly home. And which, by the way, also interesting tidbit, we flew on Alaska, and I had gotten an email the night before asking us, because they had overbooked their flights, if we wanted to volunteer to take a later flight, and they would pay us $250 a person. I initially said yes, and then when we got to the airport in the morning, we talked about it. I was like, I don't know, for $250, we'd rather just get home. And then they do this all the time, where they still didn't have enough volunteers, so they would announce in the terminal, hey, how about $400 per person, and then no takers. All right, $500 per person, no takers. All right, $800 per person, if they had any takers. It wasn't enough. All right, $1,000 per person. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk over there and talk to them. So I went and talked to them, and they said, yeah, we need volunteers, and we'll pay $1,000 a person in credit, but you wouldn't be leaving until tomorrow at the earliest. And it was like, oh man, we can't do that. Like, if it was just me and Danielle, we would figure it out. It's a lot of money. But anyways, so we wound up just getting on the plane and flying straight home, and there were no problems. It was super fast, and we had the car parked at the Fresno airport. Just got the car, stopped and got lunch on the way home, and then went to the house and just took it easy yesterday. But I'm still, man, I crashed last night. I stayed up till 11 still. And I was still pretty beat today. But anyways, I had a great trip. It was nice to see my parents, spend a little time with them. And now it's almost 8 a.m. on Monday, and I need to get inside and go to work. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.